Hi, this video is going to be a completely different note from everything I've done so far. It's going to be going very personal because I would like to share my experience of moving in between these two realities, the 3D and the 5D. And so far, this was only available to my closest friends. They are who I am walking this path with, but I really came today to the conclusion that I would like to share it with you. So maybe it can help you to realize that no, you are not going crazy. No, you are not losing your mind. Well, you are losing your mind, and that's okay. But it can totally feel like being bipolar or having multiple personality disorders, or, like because you are experiencing the losing of your mind, you're experiencing the falling apart of everything you have known so far, everything you called reality. And this can be very unsettling, the least to say. So I decided to create this video and share my experience on how I am living that. Because especially since February this year, it started to accelerate like crazy. My first enlightenment episode, I had it last summer, and that was truly like, oh my God, it was the first time. And when I talk about enlightenment period, I'm going to just say exactly what I mean when I'm talking about 3D and 5D, because there are many, many words that are interchangeable. There's so much out there that people are using. So in order just to be on the same page. But before we go there hello, my name is Agnes. If you are new to my channel, you might want to subscribe if you like what I'm talking about. And if you want to know more about ascension, going to the fifth dimension, creating new reality, and especially manifesting what you desire in a completely new way, which is from your true self that is without limitation. So going back to what I mean when I say 3D, 5D. Now, 3D, we talk about the mind, the old self, the limitation, the programming, the conditioning, the past, the trauma, everything that the human perspective, right? The limitation of the human perspective, the personality. So everything that we learned from the moment that we were born and we were told this is who you are. So it's our experience from the perspective of separation. And this is all we have known until now. And the fifth dimension is that it's the true self. Abraham calls it the inner self or the inner being. We can call it higher self. It's your highest consciousness or higher consciousness. It's the one beyond the false matrix. It's the one who you truly are. So that's what it's happening now. We are remembering who we truly are, which is this consciousness beyond the limitation of this false matrix. And when we are going to and while and remembering this self, that's the self that is limitless, boundless. It's the divine perspective, is the divine blueprint. And this is from where we are going to create the new earth reality. And now this is happening inside of us. And I'm going to share in this video how that looks like in my reality. Because as I said last summer, I had the first experience of, and it just happened. I know exactly what I was doing. I was listening to a channeling from the council, and I'm going to just say it here before I forget that, yet, like we are told there's nothing to do. You have nothing to do. It's happening anyway. We call it ascension, right? So ascension is what's going on. Ascension is that you are waking up to this fifth dimensional reality, to who you truly are. And we don't have to do anything. We don't have to heal for that to happen. You don't even have to be spiritual, actually, just to be a very, very good person for that to happen. But when I actually heard this one sentence, that completely kicked my spiritual ego out of the way, because this information just was kind of looping in me, and I'm like, what? I spent 15 years to figure out all the rules of the false matrix, just to realize that all of that was actually still the false matrix. And I've been telling this story of being on my spiritual journey for 20 years and have done all these things and learned all these things, and I have all these psychic abilities, just to realize that it doesn't mean anything really. It's just the identity of my spiritual ego. So after having that experience, while I was listening to the channeling was able to kind of, I would say, suck me out of this limitation of the mind, of who I believe I am, Agnes as personality. And that experience was so out of this world. I was just laughing and crying for, like, I don't know, it actually, I remember it lasted like a half a day. And I was in awe of everything around me. I knew that I'm creating everything around me, that everything here that I'm looking around in this room, including my body, is something that I am manifesting as an intention that is coming from my purpose or intention to have a physical experience. And that just by next day, it just went away, and I kind of wasn't really able to go back there. Right, to change the perspective. This is why I'm going to refer to is perspective. I'm taking away the words enlightenment, ascension, and all those kind of things, because they're just so heavy. I just love perspective, right? So perspective of the mind, perspective of your true self. And then since then, I had multiple ego death, which means that I just realized, oh no, that's not me. That's not me either. The last one I had a few, like 3 weeks ago, that was the spiritual ego death, which was, I think, the most painful to let go of, because I worked so hard and for so long to create that identity of being a healer, and with all those many million certificates and all my psychic abilities, and the illusion of figuring out the false matrix rules, and how it works with all the family lineages, the ancestors, karmic bonds and past lives, and trauma and childhood, and like whatever, limiting beliefs, programs and conditioning and imprints, like all of that I spent so much time to figure out. I just realized that still it's the same thing. It's still the false matrix. Does not have to do anything with who I truly am. And that kind of like literally blew my mind. And it let me completely in surrender, and was like, I don't care about anything anymore. And then when I was able to just basically kind of wake up to the perspective of who I am. And this waking up, this transition between the completely being identified with Agnes, the human, and her limitation about, I need to do this in order to get that. We have to achieve this. We have to go somewhere, and we have to change and transform and heal and whatever we're doing here that we believe we need to do. And then to the perspective that that's not true. Everything is already here. You are the creator. Everything, you are creating everything around yourself, and it's for the delight of having a human experience. And when we are in that perspective, everything is just so simple. I realized that like creating reality, manifestation, none of that is my business, or like the figuring or the linear mind or the mind business in general. And there's nothing to figure out, nothing to make happen, because it's on default. The only thing I need to do is the mind, to just, relax, get out of the way and relax. Basically, we have to just relax into what is being already created for us and manifested through you. through your desires. And as you being the creator and the master creator, the limitless creator of your reality, your job is to say what you desire. And you don't even have to say it. It's just also automatic because it happens based on the contrast of the daily experiences. And then you allow it to come into your reality. And yes, it's not your job how that is going to happen, because it was never your job. You are a vibrational being. And the 3D reality is just a consequence of who you are. So there's never anything to do in the 3D. And that was the biggest illusion that I was able to kind of take off that and understand that the biggest illusion is that we believe that the 3D reality, the material, the physical, is the true reality. And it's not true, right? The vibrational reality is the true reality, is the one that it's happening in your imagination. That's who you are. You are a vibrational being, and the 3D is just a consequence of that, what you are being there and creating there, and allowing into this reality to take form. So this on and off was going on for, especially in the last 3 months, very, very often. But I was spending much more time in the Agnes me, and being so frustrated and knowing that this is not me. So that's why I was saying I really felt kind of bipolar, because I was able to be aware of both of me at the same time. Like, because now that I had experience in one and the other, now I cannot deny that that's me as well. And so when I was not in that vibration or in that frequency or perspective, I felt truly miserable, excruciatingly painful to hold myself in the lie of this limitation, knowing that's not who I am. And then it took me days and days, sometimes even weeks, that I kept myself in that low vibrational perspective until it just bursted out. And then, because it was just too painful to hold it together, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And that's when I again surrendered, and then kind of what we call awakened, or woke up to the perspective of this divine creator. And it's just something that it's going to happen to all of us. We are in this transitioning time, and this is what collectively is happening. We are collectively remembering. And if you ever wondered how New Earth reality is going to come about, I did. Now that I spend a lot of more time and started to spend a lot of more time in this oneness perspective and the divine perspective of the consciousness who is manifesting Agnes, who is manifesting this holographic universe around me, and including my body, and that it's completely for my delight. And then I go around and I just, everywhere I see, from that perspective, you know that everything is you. You know that everything, that nothing is real in a way, but it's just for your delight and magic, and everything is perfect, and everything is unfolding perfectly, and in ways that you can never imagine, you can never in a million years think about in your mind, because it has nothing to do with your mind. And the funniest part of this is that when I am in that very high perspective, or high, it's not even high, it's a different perspective, the true perspective. I write a lot to myself, knowing that when I'm going to lose it, maybe it will help me to just remember again. Because I cannot control, it just happens, and usually happens because of surrender. But the mind doesn't like to do that. The mind really wants to stay in control of what's going on. So it really, really only drops control when it's just the suffering is so intense. In my case, it's just it's just like, I don't freaking care about anymore. And then it just surrenders and I relax into this. Oh yeah, like it's already done. It's already happening. There's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to do. It's just being and enjoying the moment by moment experience. And in that perspective, in that reality, there is really no time. There is really no space. Either everything starts falling apart, like you are not bound anymore. Time starts happening. You experience time very differently than when you are in the perspective of the human. And it's really like, it's just so delightful. So anyway, I started to write down about those experiences, for knowing that I'm going to be sucked back into the false matrix so that I can remember and go back. So the funniest thing is that I go to read this, like, for example, I don't know, yesterday morning I woke up already like, oh my God, there we go again. So I'm like, okay, where is my journal? Like, let me just read it, like the truth, you know? And I start reading it, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I'm like, what did I want to say here? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the meanings of what I was writing down. And I remember that when I was writing it down, I was in full bliss. I was laughing out loud. I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. Oh my God, this is just so effortless. Oh my God, this is like so duh. But when I am in the mind and in this perspective, it just doesn't make any sense. It feels like, yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, I've read this a million times already. Other teachers are teaching the same thing. So like, that's, yeah, what's the point? It's not a big deal. So this is how different the two realities are. One needs the mind, or the mind is in control. In the other, the mind really just takes its original place, which is supposed to be an observer and of the reality unfolding, and kind of the tool to navigate this or some aspects, very minimal aspects of this reality, like basically that when you have to, you know, pass across a street, or you have to, you know, pay and add up some number, you know, like basic life things, but definitely was never supposed to be in charge of anything important, let alone manifestation. And when I say manifestation, I really mean like everything in your reality is you are creating it. But because we have no understanding of how it's going on, it's just we always staying in our own way, and we really, really feel the separation and the lack all the time. And so, but now that I am in and out, in and out, in and out, and having almost daily, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I am in absolutely 3D, frustrated and angry. I'm like, no, not again. And I feel this like, oh, like it's just too tight. Like my body feels like it's just a very tight clothes or something, you know. And then all of a sudden, now I figured out what is the way out, like what helps me, because we're all talking about vibration and frequency, right? So it only means that my vibration or my frequency when I woke up is lower than my true self. So my true self's perspective. So all I really need to do is to raise it up so it again matches who I truly am. And then my perspective all of a sudden changes. I'm out of my mind. So I figured out, and it's actually the same thing as it was at my first similar experience last summer. It's listening to channelings. The only way that we can wake up from this illusion is to use a vibration that is off planet, so to say, which is not, but you understand what I mean. So it's a channeled information that is outside of our mind, it's outside of the human. That's the only way to wake up from the human. So if you listen to Abraham or any like Bouchard, Cryon, Saint-Germain, the Council, and like Million, you know, Disease, and I don't know, like there's so many collective consciousness collectives that are helping us, that we are actually manifesting, and we agreed that they're going to remind us that we are them, and then we are the boundless divine creators, and we're going to wake up to that vibration, to that consciousness, and the new earth is going to be born through that. Because when we are able to stabilize this perspective, like manifestations is instant. When I am in those in that perspective, I am in the absolute knowing. There is no time, there's only this present moment. I don't even have I don't perceive any time happening, and it's this like never-ending, ongoing now. And it's just so much happening in the now that you feel like you just have, like, you cannot grasp all the beauty, all the magic, everything that it's all the time trying to spoil you in every possible way. It's really feeling like absolutely in love, and that 100 folds. So there's no words to describe it. And it's just really, really funny that every time when I'm there and I want to teach and I want to talk to people, I just get so tangled up in words, really playing a big game with ourselves, and that's okay. We said we're going to do this. We said that we are going to help humanity wake up, and this is the way we're going to do it. So if you're listening and you're still listening to this video, then you agreed to come back to this earth dimension, to this dimension for getting who you truly are, so then you can remember, and then you can wake humanity up from inside out. And as I said, when we are in this perspective, everything is instant, because there is no time. So whatever we desire is that you created, you allow it, because it's your creation. So there's you don't have this feeling of separation, especially when we talk about manifestation, that almost everything out there tells us that you are manifesting it from outside. Like, you are here, you want something, and then someone else is going to give it to you. So it's like the universe will give it to you, or you have to be worthy or deserving of what you want. And that all that is not true. It's just beliefs that we created. Or even better, we bought into them, because not all of us has them, but some of us has. And the more you want to get rid of them, the more or the deeper you get into the limitation, because that's how the universe works, right? You are focusing down on all the things that are not working well, and all the things that you need to change, and all the things you need to heal and you need to fix. Then you're just going to create more of that reality, which is fair enough, until you get sick and tired and you will say, fuck this, I'm done with this shit. And then you are free to just remember who you truly are. So I'm just so curious how you are experiencing these times now, these shifts in yourself, because as I said, the 3D, 5D split of timelines, it's happening inside of us. And it's the old crumbling down, the old beliefs, the old systems in you, the old conditioning, the old programs, the fear-based, the worry-based program are crumbling out inside of you, which can manifest in anxiety and grief and loss and pain and struggle and worry and fear, which is okay, because that's what the mind believes it's all about. And then something else is emerging, but that's truly about allowing and surrendering. And yes, it's a kind of a fight for life, but it's happening anyway, and you have nothing to do, just allow it. Before I finish this, I hope you liked this content, and I'm going to bring more, especially around manifestation and where we are going and how we are changing. Also, I am just opening this week a circle, which is called the fifth dimensional manifestation circle. And I created this just exactly for this, like how to talk about ascension, 5D manifestation, allowing ascension, and how we can really, like me explaining the perspective of divine, and how we can allow ourselves into this perspective more and more and more, and aligning with this, and then creating anything we desire into this reality, which is already the new earth reality, by the way. So allowing your dreams to come in effortlessly, and how to do that, this is what we talk about. So you can check it out. It's down in the description box. Okay, amazing. It was just so fun to actually put these things in words. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and see you soon. Also, don't forget to comment how you are doing. I can't wait to see how you are all going through these amazing times. See you soon. Ciao.